Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we'll start our next topic that is actually associated with managing foreign exchange risk. As we have discussed different type of foreign exchange risk and what are their impact and different other concepts related to foreign exchange risk. In this chapter, we will be discussing some of the methods through which we can somehow decrease or diversify amount of foreign exchange risk or exposure. Actually, foreign exchange risk is the risk that a business financial performance or position will be affected by fluctuation in exchange rates between currencies. The risk is most acute for businesses that deal in more than one currency. For example, they export to another current country and customer paying their own currencies. So obviously, when you are dealing in different currencies, so you have to bear that kind of risk. So but however, other businesses are actually indirectly exposed to business exchange risk. If, for example, their business relies on imported products or services, so foreign exchange risk should be managed where fluctuation in exchange rate impact on the business profitability. In business where the core operations are other than financial services, the risk should be managed in such a way that the focus of the business is on providing the core goods or service without exposing the business to financial risk, which is actually coming from this foreign exchange transactions and other type of transaction which can have impact on the value of your currencies. Now, when we are dealing with foreign exchange risk, there are many practical approaches which can help us to decrease or mitigate a certain amount of exchange risk. Some of these practical approaches are listed below. Like one is dealing in your home currency, secondly, doing nothing, then leading, lagging, matching receipts and payments, and netting of foreign currency bank accounts, maintaining foreign currency bank accounts, or matching assets and liabilities, and lastly hedging with forward exchange contracts. So we'll be discussing these approaches one by one. First of all, dealing in home currency, like when you are dealing in different countries, so one approach which will be helpful to you to minimize your risk exposure or exposure to foreign exchange risk is that you should not deal in different currencies. You insist all customers to pay in your home currency and pay all importers or imports in a home currency. This method will actually decrease your foreign exchange risk, but the other factor is that it will transfer the risk from you to the other party. Like obviously, when you are not purchasing their currency and you are not dealing in the other currency, so obviously the risk of increase and decrease in the value of your currency will be on the other party. So practically, when you are doing the business in the international scenario, so practically it's not acceptable. People obviously everybody is in the business is there to gain some profit. So they will not accept this kind of arrangement. This kind of approach is not acceptable commercially. Secondly, another the factor is that you should do nothing, like rather than making precautionary steps or doing any other thing. They will suggest you to that you should do nothing. Now, in the long run, the company would win some, lose some, like when there is fluctuation in the exchange rate. So in the long run, several times the company's transaction will gain some benefit, but on the other hand, certain times you will lose. So this method is applicable for some small occasional transaction because it actually saves transaction costs, but it's dangerous. You cannot leave this potential risk for doing nothing. You have to make a certain arrangement for this kind of risk. And leading and lagging, this is another approach which will help to decrease the foreign exchange risk exposure. In case, first of all, we will discuss the leading. Like in case of receipts, if the currency is due to receive will depreciate, you are expecting that the currency you will receive will be going to depreciate over in a few months, so you will try to accelerate payment immediately in order to get that receive as early as possible, in order to avoid, in order to decrease risk associated with the depreciation. This can be achieved by offering discount for immediate payment. So you can give them lucrative discounts and accelerate payments in order to get to be safe from the of the risk of currency depreciation. This is called as leading. But in case of lagging, if the importer expects that the currency it is due to pay will depreciate, it may attempt to delay the payment, because when you are paying to a foreign body or a foreign trader, and you are paying it in a currency which you are expecting that in future it will depreciate, so you have to pay less amount in the future. So in that case you will try to delay the payment, but this may be achieved by agreement or by exceeding your credit terms. This is called as lagging. Now, another method of managing exchange risk is matching payments and receipts. As when you are dealing in international market, there are a number of transactions in which you have to make payment, and there are a number of transactions in which you will be receiving payment. And there are certain cases when a company has received in payments in the same foreign currency, and they are actually due and paid, have to be due at the same time. So what we can do in this method is that we can simply match them against each other. Because the payment are to be made in dollars, the collection would be made in the in US dollars. So obviously if you match these transactions, so the conversion of currency would not be done, and you will not expose to foreign currency risk. But it is then only necessary to deal on the foreign exchange market for unmatched portion of the total transaction, as there are possibilities that all the transaction and all the receipts would not be matched. So what you should do is you should match receipt with payments up to the amount at which they can be matched, and use another method for reducing risk for unmatched portion of those transactions. Like for example, if you look into this example, there is an ABC PLC company, and they are actually having different transaction in and receive and payment in 3 months. So they have to receive 16 million from US customers, and they have to pay 10 million to US suppliers. So what they'll do is they'll match $10 million of the $10 million of payment and receipts, and the $6 million, which is unmatched exposure, they'll be using another hedging method or another method through which they can reduce the risk of the current conversion of currency. So like इसमें ये है कि आप अगर एक ही करेंसी में आपने पेमेंट भी करनी है, एक ही करेंसी में आपने कलेक्शन भी लेनी है, तो आप क्या करें, बजाय इसके कि आप उसको कन्वर्ट करके दोबारा पेमेंट करें, आप उधर ही उसको उनकी पेमेंट और रिसीट्स को आपस में मैच कर दें. फिर आप जरूरी नहीं है कि तमाम ट्रांजैक्शंस आपकी जो है वो मैच होंगी, उसमें कुछ ऐसी ट्रांजैक्शन है, कुछ ऐसी अमाउंट है जो आपकी मैच नहीं होंगी, तो उसके लिए आप फिर कोई ऐसा मेथड, मतलब वी आर डिस्कसिंग डिफरेंट मेथड्स, उसमें से कोई सा भी ऐसा मेथड यूज कर लें जो आपके वो जो बाकी रिमेनिंग ट्रांजैक्शन है जो मैच नहीं हो रही, उसको आप हेज कर दें, उससे जो एक्सपोजर रिस्क है आपका किसी करेंसी कन्वर्जन का, उससे कम हो जाए. सो बाकी जो ट्रांजैक्शन मैच हो रही है उनको मैच कर देंगे, तो वो एटलीस्ट उस जो मैचिंग ट्रांजैक्शन है उसका जो है वो रिस्क वहां पे डेल्ट हो जाएगा. Now another method is actually netting. First of all, what is netting? When we talk about netting, it's actually a process by which an exposure or obligation or risk is reduced by combining two or more positions. The value of multiple positions is analyzed and offset, and eventually the parties that need to be paid and pay are determined. Multilateral netting involves more than
two parties. Netting is used for several purposes in financial markets, including trading, credit agreements, or intercompany transaction. Like unlinked matching, netting is actually not a technically method of managing exchange rate risk. Like it is conveniently dealt with at this stage. The objective is simply to save transaction cost by netting intercompany balances before arranging payment between group companies. Because when you are collection, making payment, or getting receipts and all those things. So first of all, you have to see that you are dealing with different subgroups of different companies, or say you have dealing in a company with a company which has some many subdivisions, and you are making transaction. So what you will do is you will find out the net amount which has to be paid or which has to be collected, and based upon that you can make the arrangement for your collection or payment. So this method can be used for decreasing a certain amount of risk in foreign currency transactions. Now, another method which can be used in foreign currency dealing or foreign currency transaction is that you can maintain a foreign currency bank account. There are many different banks which are offering these foreign currency accounts in which you can go and open the account in foreign currency. So because this is more feasible in certain companies or businesses which are actually regular dealing with payment and collection in a certain currency like dollars, euros, or pounds, pound sterling. So in that case, what you'll do is, if you have are frequently making payments and collection in that currency, so would be beneficial for you to open a bank account of or in the name of for a bank account in that foreign currency. It may choose to operate a foreign currency account, and this operates as a permanent matching process. The exposure to exchange risk is limited to the net balance on the account. Obviously, because you are making payment in collection, so in the mostly your exposure or your risk would be on the net balance on the account, not the or not on all the amount, because you are making payment in that currency and you are getting collection in that currency. So in that case, if you have the bank account, you don't have to frequently make conversion. So in this way, your risk exposure would be only limited to the net amount in the account you have in your balance. Another method which can be used for reducing risk of foreign currency exposure is matching assets and liabilities. Like a company which expects to receive a significant amount of income in a foreign currency will want to hedge against the risk of this currency weakening. Like अगर आपने लगता है आपको कि आपको डॉलर में पेमेंट आएगी, तो आप जो है वो उस ऑब्वियसली अगर डॉलर जो है वो वीक होता है तो वो आपके लिए प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है और आपको कम पैसे रिसीव होंगे. सो इन दैट केस आपने कुछ ऐसी सिचुएशन इस तरीके से हेज करना है. हेज एक्चुअली का मतलब है मिनिमाइजेशन ऑफ रिस्क. सो आपने इस तरीके से उसको हैंडल करना है कि आपका जो रिस्क है वो कम हो जाए. सो आप इट कैन डू दिस बाय बोरोइंग इन अ फॉरेन करेंसी एंड यूजिंग द फॉरेन रिसीट टू पे द लोन. सो इसमें यह है कि आप क्या करें कि आप उसी करेंसी में कोई बोरोइंग कर लें, कोई लोन ले लें उसी करेंसी में, और उसी से उसकी जो लोन की पेमेंट वगैरह है वो कर दें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यूरो रिसीवेबल कैन बी हेज बाय टेकिंग आउट यूरो ओवरड्राफ्ट. इसमें देख लें, वो कह रहे हैं कि अगर आपने यूरो के रिसीवेबल्स हैं तो आपने उसको हेज करने बाय टेकिंग अ यूरो ओवरड्राफ्ट. आपने यूरो ओवरड्राफ्ट का मतलब ये है कि आपके पास ओवरड्राफ्ट की फैसिलिटी ये होती है कि आपके पास इफ यू हैव ऑलरेडी हैव अकाउंट इन द बैंक, सो आप उसमें से ही एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट जो है वो निकाल सकते हो. एक लिमिट उन्होंने आपको दी हुई होती है. सो आप उन रिसीवेबल को हेज कर सकते हैं बाय टेकिंग द यूरो ओवरड्राफ्ट. यूरो ही में आप ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी लेके उसको फाइनेंस कर दे. इन द सेम वे, यूरो ट्रेड पेबल कैन बी मैच अगेंस्ट यूरो बैंक अकाउंट विच इज यूज टू पे द सप्लायर. इसी तरीके से अगर आपका कोई ट्रेड पेबल्स हैं, आपने सप्लायर को पेमेंट करनी है, सो इन दैट केस आपको यूरो बैंक ही में यूरो जो है यूरोपियन बैंक या किसी भी ऐसी बैंक जो यूरो ऑफर कर रहा है, वो आपको जो है उनसे आपने लोन लेके और उसकी पेमेंट कर देंगे. A firm which has long term foreign investment will similarly try to match the foreign asset by long term loan in foreign currency. Obviously, when there are companies which are working frequently in the foreign countries, so they can also match their different foreign asset by taking long term loan from the bank which are operating in the foreign currency, that foreign currency which is operating in that company. So in this way, what you will do is you will match your liability with your asset, which will decrease the certain amount of risk exposure which is there due to exchange of currency. So this is another way of decreasing your risk when you are dealing in foreign currency market, or when you are dealing in different currencies. Now, another method which can be used with hedging with foreign exchange contracts. Like, hedging means minimization of risk. So you can minimize risk by enter into the contract with your supplier or with your importer and whatever the person which you are dealing with, or traders which are operating internationally. So you can enter into the contract with them, and you will decide a forward rate, and the settlement and the payments or collection would be done on that rate which is being decided this previously. Although other form of hedging are available, forward exchange contract represent most frequently applied method of hedging. Mostly this method is frequently used in foreign currency transaction. In practice, forward rates are quoted as a margin on the spot rate. Like spot rate, there is a spot rate. So a little they will take a little bit margin on the spot rate and offer a forward rate which would be used in the settlement of any transaction like payment or collection in the future. And that the rate which is decided today, that is called as a forward rate, and the transaction will be settled on that forward rate which is decided in this contract. Now we can understand the forward exchange contract with the help of this example. Like, it is now January 1st, and YPLC company will receive $10 million on 30th April. It enters into forward contract, exchange contract, to sell this amount on the forward date at a rate of $1.60 is equal to £1. On April 30, the company is guaranteed 6.25 million pounds. The risk is completely removed because they have already decided this forward rate, that is $1.60 to £1. So the transaction would be done on this rate, and there is no doubt about that. So they have locked this rate, and in this case the company will be had a guaranteed 6.25 million pounds. But if there is a positive movement and the exchange rate has been decreased or increased, so in that case, in a positive term, they cannot get the benefit of a positive increase in the in the rate, but they could be managed to offset the risk of decrease in the exchange rate. So they have locked that rate, which due to which they can get a guaranteed 6.25 million pounds payment. So this is called as forward exchange contract. There are many advantages and disadvantages associated of forward exchange contract. The advantages are that they are flexible with regard to amount cover. Obviously, whatever amount you want to cover with this exchange rate, it's possible for you because it's a flexible, and it's relatively straightforward both to comprehend and to organize. When there is no complication in that, so in that case we can say it's simple and can be conducted very easily, and can be organized very easily. But there are certain disadvantages associated with that, like contractual commitment that must be completed in that due date, because you have locked the rate, and the all the payment or collection would be done between that date and till up to that date, because that rate is applicable up to that specific date. So the transaction should be completed in that up to that due date, and there is no opportunity benefit from favorable movement in exchange rate. You have locked you against the negative movement, but you have guaranteed your payments or collections up to a certain amount. But if there is a positive movement which can increase the amount you could be received, so that would be not be attained because you have locked the rate. So that is another disadvantages associated with forward exchange contract. It can be explained with the help of this example, like that current for spot rate for US dollar against US pound sterling is dollar 1.4525 to 1.4535 is equal to 1 pound sterling, and the 1 month forward rate is quoted as dollar 1.4550 is equal to dollar 1.4565 is equal to 1 pound sterling. A UK exporter expect to receive 4 lakh in dollar in 1 month. If forward exchange contract is used, how much will he receive in the sterling? Now the exporter will be selling his dollars to the bank, and bank buys high at dollar 1.4565. It is the high rate, and the exporter will therefore receive 4 lakh divided by 1.4565 is equal to 2,74,631 pounds sterling. So in this way your rate would be locked, and you will receive this amount, and this is the guaranteed amount because you have agreed upon this forward rate, and the bank will be providing you to 2,74,631 pounds sterling.